Disillusionment is the ultimate knife to the heart. I have given you so much trust, so much loyalty, so much honor, and you have crushed it. In some way, you have spit on or mocked what I gave so freely, openly, and it is so disillusioning that what I thought you were, because you claimed that integrity, you seemed to give lip service to it, you haven't lived up to that, right? And while we have to give each other grace and we have to recognize that it's so much more important that we're watching out for our own flaws, disillusionment is a real emotion. And I think it can build our resentment unless we make sure that we acknowledge that disillusionment. If we can't start with that truth, then we're going to keep lying to ourselves. In some way, we won't have a cohesiveness to our experience because we're keeping that separate, maybe because we believe it's not right to judge that or to call it for what it is. So I'm not saying call other people out necessarily. I'm not saying we have to be vocal outwardly, but I do feel that in emotional health, what has always helped me is to say, between me and spirit, here's how I feel. And I feel hurt, I feel disillusioned, I feel wronged, and whatever those feelings are, that's just how I feel. It's just my starting point. If I don't have a chance to just claim those as valid, then how can I ever truly be honest in moving forward? And I don't have to necessarily be brutally honest to anyone else in terms of I'm really disillusioned with you, but I have to find my own clarity about that so I can move forward with balance, boundaries, and communication that takes that into account. Otherwise, disillusionment turns into I'm sarcastic with you now, or I'm shuttered off in some way. So it stops me from being wholehearted in moving forward. And that would be valid too if I'm still in pain over my own disillusionment. But at some point, the whole point of resentment, like I was saying in video number 1, is that it's pushing us to stop ignoring our needs or our truth. And if that's true for me, that what I thought we had together or what I thought we were both bringing to the table, you paid lip service and I really brought to the table, so I'm very disillusioned. Wherever we are with that experience that we're having about disillusionment, it's important to no longer ignore our needs or our truth, because otherwise the resentment will be super strong. So first of all, it will always be important that we check ourselves. Do we have unreasonable expectations? Do we have our own self-righteousness? Or maybe we have a limited perspective. And that's why I always bring it back to between me and spirit, me saying, what am I missing? I have things to learn here. But at the same time, not negating or pushing aside the fact that I'm still very disillusioned, because that's going to expand my perspective. When I'm willing to learn through that experience, I can acknowledge my resentment, I can acknowledge the disillusionment, and maybe I can become more realistic with my expectations or find where I can say, what I brought is in righteousness. So I don't have to judge in self-righteousness the other person, but I can call it as that was not equal to what was said or what was offered or whatever the case may be. Because otherwise there's always going to be that lie that will keep us in the sense of resentment because we're not just honestly saying, yeah, it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be or all that that person claimed. So be easy with yourself and know that we all go through this, but we can set the baggage down, we can give it up, and we can make some peace with it because we finally just acknowledge it. I hope that that encourages you today, and I will talk to you again soon. In the meantime, be well and take care.